Hello and welcome back to the Making Fire podcast. This is a podcast where two longtime besties talk about their favorite TV show, Survivor. This week we'll be discussing episode 8 of Survivor China. But first, Riley, how are you? How have you got some work done?
I'm feeling a little tight in cheek, the cheek area. Is that? Oh, okay. Sorry, I got ahead of myself. I was gonna say I'm doing well, Maddie. As you remember from last week, there is no last week.
Ooh. Yeah, sorry about that. That
Okay,
was unfortunate.
unfortunate. Y'all, last week's episode got lost in the cloud sphere.
It got lost in. It's not lost. It unfortunately did not record Riley's audio. So, and
No.
I didn't think you all wanted to hear me talking to myself for an hour.
Unfortunately, no last week. But last week on my little pre show, how am I doing? I mentioned that I was going to see Chapel Rowan in between um videos in between podcasts.
These little videos.
These little videos. I did see Chapel Rowan. It was a really great experience. Well, it wasn't really great. Let's talk about it real quick. I want to say Chapel's set was amazing, so stunning, so spectacular, and it was everything I could have asked for and more. I was so far forward to the point where when I was standing there with my sibling, I thought I was like, "Oh, I wish we were a tad bit closer." But then I saw like the drone footage and the cameras from everybody above us. Oh my god, we were so close. I thought we were about halfway. Like we were the middle point.
Hmm.
Baby, we were fully like the first fourth
Yeah.
of people. That sounds crazy to me. Like thinking about it now in retrospect. But anyway, I just want to say, and I'm using my platform of my own podcast to talk about my own feelings on this subject. And I'm sure Maddie will have similar feelings because she had alluded to me about that. But make it quick. If you want, you can watch my in-depth 10-minute TikTok rant that I did about this subject
And I watched the whole thing.
on my own personal TikTok.
Was
Riley
it on
Refresh.
2 times speed? Yes, but I did listen to the whole thing.
If it makes you feel better, roommate friend of the pod, Kellen, the night before I posted that TikTok, I had sent him a voice memo that was 20 minutes long. Wait, I wonder how. I think I saved it. Let me see. Let me look. Kellen. Oh my god, there was a picture of it almost. Sorry. Sometimes we send each other pictures of cute men. It was 20 minutes long. I was like, why is there almost naked Paul Mescal in this text message? So my feelings about this, and I'm going to try to make it really short and sweet. I did not have a good time. My love for Chapel, sorry, so many thoughts just went in my head. I had never been to a music festival before this. I will never go back to another music festival unless the artist is literally like one of my main like people. Like even then, I'm like, I don't know. Like if Beyonce did another Coachella, maybe, but it's also like I can see I just saw Beyonce in tour. And that was probably not just it was probably not the same feeling as Coachella, but like of Baychella, but I'm like I don't think there is anybody in the world that I could justify going to another music festival. That was like a terrible experience. And it was just the Seattle Capitol Hill Block Party. It wasn't even a big music festival like Lollapalooza or Coachella. Like it wasn't even a real deal like that, and I hated it. I can't imagine how I would feel at an actually large, like, festival. Basically, I don't do well with people. I don't do well with entitlement, and I don't do well with people thinking that their experience is more precious than my experience. My sibling and I knew that we wanted to get good spots, so we went there. Um, Chapel started at 8. We I can't even remember the timeline. I think like 6. So we had been standing there for like 2, almost 3 hours waiting. We got there like 15 minutes before the set before Chapel, Becky Hill. Everybody go stream Becky Hill's music, because why was I was popping off listening to Miss Becky Hill set. It was really good. We were there 15 minutes, and then Becky Hill had a 45-minute thing, and then there was a 45-minute wait between sets. And then Chapel's whole set. We were there for that whole time, standing in our spot, and why the whole time were people pushing through us? And being like, oh my god, my boyfriend's up there saving his spot, my girlfriend's up there saving his spot, oh, like, my friends are up there. And this is where we're gonna get academic. I just want to say that these are my thoughts and my thoughts only. Maddie can agree or whatever. She can have her subject. But I'm gonna say, me and my degree and my thesis that I did on BIPOC people in space, in
space,
yeah, in rooms in community, and my degree in African American studies, the studies that I've done on race. Let me break it down to you, okay? What I noticed with my own eyes and experience with my experience was that it was 90% white women who were pushing their way through the crowd and saying that, oh my god, I have to get to the front. Oh my god, my friends are up in the front. Liar, Liza Minnelli lies, to quote Vivacious from season 5 of RuPaul's Drag Race, season 6 of RuPaul's Drag Race.
And you know what? Even if they're not lying, I don't care.
I don't care.
That's your problem.
That is your problem. You should have been here for the last 2 hours, like I was here for the last 2 hours. Like,
and your alleged boyfriend.
And your alleged boyfriend, girl. So, what I'm saying is that Chapel Rowan, obviously, I'm not her intended audience for her music. Her music is obviously intended for women, queer women, and I am a gay Asian man. Oh my god, a cis gay Asian man. So, like, it's not necessarily made for me, but I still have a very deep-rooted attachment to her music. Just because I'm not a white woman doesn't make me less connected to her music, and doesn't make me less entitled to the experience of enjoying her concert and enjoying the festival and enjoying her music live. Doesn't make me less entitled to it than you, a white woman. And let's not remember, when I say it's made for queer women, her music is intended for queer women, that white is the invisible word before queer, or before women. And it's just like, we can't forget it. And so I was just thinking about that the whole time, that there was, and it's not all white women. I just want to say that. White women, most of you are cool. But if you are out taking offense to what I'm saying right now, what I'm saying is about you, bestie. I'm sorry. Again, I'd like to preface, I'm not talking about all white women. I should have said that at the beginning. I forgot to say that. I'm not talking about all white women, but if you're feeling some type of way about what I'm saying, it's probably about you. That some white women have an entitlement to the space because the music is about them. And they feel like their experience is worth more because they connect to the music more than I inherently connect to the music. And that's just not true, and nor is it fair. And you know what? I'm calling you out. Fuck y'all. You made my experience terrible. I snapped at somebody. In their defense, they weren't women. It was 2 grown men. Because I'm also, like, I have to recognize that I am a man in a space that is primarily meant for women. And so, like, I'm not going to, like, shit on them. But when 2 grown-ass men... I don't know if I said this in my TikTok. I can't really remember because I kind of just ranted. I literally... No cuts in that TikTok if you watch it. 10 minutes straight of me talking. 2 men walked past me. I don't know if I said this. 2 men walked past me, and they bumped into me, and they said, they said sorry. Oh, they said sorry. I'm trying to go up front to have Chapel Rowan sign my vinyl. Did I say this in my video?
I don't remember.
They were like, I want Chapel Rowan to sign my vinyl. And he walked past me. I heard him say that, and I looked at him and I said, I need you to be so fucking for real. And, you know, he was old because he thought that was me being like, yes, like, I need you to be real. Like, yes, be real. He went, yes. And I went, no, I need you to be fucking for real right now. You think you're going to go? I said this to him in the middle of her, I forget what she was singing. In the middle of her singing, I went, I know you don't think you're going to go up there. And he was like, yeah. And I went, you think she's going to sign your vinyl in the middle of her set right now? And he said, yeah. Oh my god. I wish I had one brain cell like you. I really do wish I had one brain cell.
I want to live in your world for a day.
I know life must be so good for you with how fucking stupid you are. You thought Chappell Roan was gonna stop her fucking set to sign your vinyl, you stupid bitch. I need you to get I need you to be so real. And then he didn't even make it all the way up to the front, because a couple songs later, why out of nowhere do I see a pop-up of the vinyl in one hand and the pen in the other? He made it about halfway. You didn't even make it up to the front. Ooh, I'm sorry, I'm getting heated again.
Yeah.
It was a bad experience. Chappell was worth it. I got some really cute merch. The merch I got was stunning. It was good. I'm glad I got to experience it. I will be seeing her again at some point in a concert venue where I can sit and enjoy, or like have a dedicated. I don't know. Anyway, that's how I'm doing. Maddie, how are you doing? You have thoughts on that? Because you
I do have
similarly
thoughts
went
on
to a
that.
music festival.
I think I agree, obviously, with everything you're saying. I also just think, like, why I know, like, this is why I know I'm not the right person to go to a festival, because I'm like, why do we not have just like basic etiquette? I and like
Again, sorry, Maddie, had you ever gone to a music festival before you went to your music festival?
no, that was my first.
Never mind.
But
And that
I want to talk about with yours. I almost think that your situation in a lot of ways was worse, because I don't think Capitol Hill Block Party is like made to do what it was doing specifically for
no.
Chappell Roan. Like when I
No.
saw Billy, it was made like it was huge.
Yeah,
And, like-
ours was not. It was the width of a city street.
Yeah, and that
The
is
block party.
insane to me.
Oh, wild.
So I want to say, like, I don't think it's like, oh, I can't, when you're like, oh, I can't imagine when it's like at a bigger one. I almost feel like your situation was in a lot of ways worse because it was not made to handle the crowd that she would gather anywhere,
Yeah.
let alone there. So I wanted to say you're valid. That would be really not fun. Yeah. So like I went to Lollapalooza last year and I had fun, and like my sister and her friend are going back this year. They're going back next week, and like this will be their third day of doing it. They did an extra day last year that I didn't do. And I just know I'm not made for it. And that's fine. And I'm glad I went and I'm glad I experienced it, but like
Because now you know.
yes, but the pushing was insane. Like the trying to get their way to the front. I fully like if my sister's listening, she can attest to this. If people tried to get around me, I would block them. Like I would stand
That
in their
is
way.
what I'm saying.
I would stand in their way and not let them through. And like the people in front of us would also start doing it too. And if they would try and go around me, I'd intentionally I would like be a little physical with them because I'm like, go away. I have been standing here for so long.
I'm
Go away.
saying.
Another thing. I'm sorry. If you are short, don't go to a music festival. Do not get on someone else's shoulders.
Yeah.
Stand your 2 feet on the ground like everyone else. Guess what? If you're on someone else's shoulders, guess who can't see? The people behind you. Way
The
more people.
14 people behind you.
Maybe get a step stool. I don't know. Maybe wear some tall shoes that day.
Or do what everybody else did and camp out and wait.
Yes.
If you know you're 4 feet tall and you need to be in the front, then you need to put the time and the work in to get there.
Yes.
I don't believe in
Also-
handouts. Ooh, I don't believe in handouts.
Also, I think one of the things that I struggled the most with at Lollapalooza last year was the not getting a whiff of fresh air.
Oh
I'm
my
sorry.
God.
If you are vaping and smoking cigarettes in a
Oh
massive
my God, the
crowd,
cigarettes.
you are a bad person, and I stand by that. You are a horrible person. If you can't go the set of the show and however long you're standing there without doing that, don't go to a music festival. Get out. Because why? Anytime it's hot, it is outside in August in Chicago. It is hot. Why, when there's finally a little whiff of some wind? Why, when I'm like, oh my God, I'm gonna be able to like lift my head up and breathe for a second because I've never been so close to passing out. Why was every single gust of wind filled with vape and cigarette smoke? Why were people throwing their cans on the ground? So I
Y'all need to
couldn't
be
step
embarrassed.
anywhere.
Y'all need to be, and that's the bad thing is I'm like, y'all don't have any sense of embarrassment because y'all think you're fine.
There were
But
people-
I am embarrassed. I am embarrassed for you. Were you
I'm
about
just-
to say pissing?
Yes, in the bottles and in the cans
Oh,
at Lollapalooza. And once again, I think people, if you want to go to a music festival, that's fun. And if you like it, I love that for you.
I
It's
know
not
we
for
need to get a
me.
an avid music festival person on the podcast because I need to dissect these experiences.
And like,
That's my problem is I don't have anything to compare it to.
yeah. And some sets were fun. I had a really good time earlier in the day at Lollapalooza when I saw the smaller sets of like, oh, it was so random. These people I really have liked on Spotify for the past few years, they were at Lollapalooza, Richie Mitch and the Coal Miners, and they're from Seattle. And it was so fun getting to see them live, and it wasn't a big crowd, and there was like shaded trees around that you could go stand under. It was fun getting to hear some new people that I hadn't heard before, and just like in the more chill ones. But when I saw Noah Khan, oh my god, it was not, the stage was not big enough. It was so insane, and people were just being gross in public at that one. And then with Billy, it's just like, why are you guys there? Especially some of the like baseball bros that were in the audience
Yeah.
in the front. I'm like, can you get back? You're tall and I don't. I can't, like, you're shoving your way and it's not fair. And yeah, so I just want to say I'm with you. I'm so glad I experienced a festival, but I know that it's not for me, and I would rather pay to have a seat.
Me too. Like I would rather pay money and have a comfortable like a seat assigned to myself that I know I
Yeah.
can go back and like
And I was just so scared the whole time, being like sardined in there and like, this is America. What are your
yeah,
escape routes? That is scary to me.
yeah.
And it's just, it wasn't for me. That was like, I've never felt so much anxiety in a place before. And I felt bad like being with Audrey and Liz, and I was just like trying to have a good time. But when we were like, still, even during Billy's set, I was like, I love this, and it was really fun to see it. But I was like, I'm like not having a good time.
You're like
And
stressing. I think that, and for us, sorry, we'll get to Survivor in a second, everybody. I think for us, it's like older sibling, like needing to manage everything. I'm
yeah.
like, I need a plan B. Like, if someone were to like start some shit right now, like, what is my next option? Like,
Yeah, we were closer to Billy, and then this girl behind us that was like, I go to all the festivals, blah blah blah, and she's like, get ready, they're gonna push hard when she comes out, blah blah blah, and she's like, just be warned, like it, like people might get knocked down, like get scary or whatever, and then I was like, okay, so we're actually gonna move closer to the exit because I cannot handle mentally being here right now.
mm-hmm,
And yeah, no, I'm glad we're talking about it because I've had all these feelings for the past year, but I haven't been able, like, we haven't been able to connect on them
mm-hmm,
before. So,
mm-hmm.
but I'm so jealous you got to see Chapel. I am really bummed I didn't get tickets to see her when she was in my city.
I have to make a little post. I haven't posted anything on social media. We have so many cute pictures and videos from our little trip. It was such a fun weekend. Ugh.
That's so fun.
Yeah, Rowan and Rowan's not listening because my family's fake as hell. None of my
Um,
family listens, so.
but that'll wrap up what I have to talk about because we've gone on for a bit and we are, spoiler alert, recording 2 episodes tonight. So I'll save my other thing for the next episode.
I'm so excited to talk about some Survivor China. This episode, and again, spoiler, we're talking about the next episode. It's a good set of episodes.
Yeah, it was also kind of fun to be able to watch 2 in a row.
Mm-hmm.
So let's just jump into it. Episode 8. We open on the tribe coming back to camp after Jamie's elimination. And JR, I just wrote JR because
I always write JR.
I'm not going to say John Robert. I hate him. Okay, maybe I will say John Robert. John Robert says it was a close call for him getting voted out. And if Jamie's idol had been real, then that would have been really tough for him because he's on the chopping block.
Well, that wasn't, so now what?
Yeah. We also get a little bit of them all coming back, and the shelter is definitely too small for all of them at this point. And Eric's like,
Which is
"Where am I supposed to sleep?"
weird because I feel like, I mean, we didn't hear a complaint about it last episode, I don't think. And last episode was like
No,
the merge episode,
and
but
you're down a person. So
yeah.
We next get to the morning, and we hear from James about how him and his original tribe need to stick together, and how, even with all of their different backgrounds, they can work together. Where the old tribe, the other old tribe, I already forgot their names. I don't remember which one's
The
which.
Jianhu and the Fei Long.
Yeah.
Jianhu's yellow, Fei Long is red.
The yellow one. The yellow tribe.
Who are you calling yellow?
Oh my god. There are everyone is like trying to win a high school best friend contest over there. Amanda then says that she is afraid that James could win the whole thing because he is strong and has 2 idols still.
That's so scary.
I would be scared.
I would be like, that's my number one.
And he's got a big personality and like
I know, he's likable.
Yeah. We then get to the reward challenge. And why are these old challenges so fun? So they're divided into 2 teams of 4. And we'll get into the dividing of the teams. But there's 2 teams of 4. And one person is in this little boat. And it's in the middle of like a square of like floating dock or like material. Yeah. And the people who are standing around the circle of water on the other team have to throw buckets of water into the other tribe's boat to sink them, which is so fun. And the first team to sink the other team's boat twice wins. The reward is being taken to a village where they will get an authentic meal and get to open this like scroll item. So the teams are picked in a schoolyard pick fashion with PG and John Robert starting out as the captains. So first, we'll just go team by team. John Robert picks James. James picks Todd. Todd picks Amanda. PG then picks Frosty. Frosty picks Eric. Eric picks Courtney. And Denise does not get picked to play. But Courtney...
I'd like to quote Eric.
Yeah.
Eric says, we're going to go with Courtney. We need someone lighter. Oh, you did not have to say that.
I know.
We were all thinking it. You didn't have to say it.
That was messed up. So Courtney is first in the boats for her tribe. And I just had to note that it was a hilarious showing of her like not really moving. She's just putting her hands in the water and like gets sunk so fast.
Well, she tells Jeff to shut up at one point.
Yeah. Courtney was not having it. And the team with James, John Robert, Todd, and Amanda win. And it's really not close.
Oh.
But I feel like this is a fun challenge and they could definitely recreate something like this now.
I know. It's just like simple. There's not a lot of parts to it.
And it's funny to watch. Like one person just in this little boat and then the other team trying to sink it. That is so funny.
I think it would have been better if the space was larger.
I was thinking that.
Because I'm like, it was so close. Like, it would have been better. It would have gone on a little longer had there been more space for Courtney to move around. But it was a fun challenge. I liked it. Yeah,
I think with some tweaks, it could be great. We should bring it back. So at the reward, it's in this 1,000-year-old village, which looks so cool them walking around it. And like these are just experiences that I wish they brought back into Survivor.
I was thinking about that too. I'm like, these are once in a lifetime things that they're getting to do.
Yeah.
Like even if you went to China and went on like a paid tour or something, like there's very little that they're doing here on Survivor that you can actually be able to like do.
Exactly. Yeah.
Which makes it so fun.
I love it.
Imagine anytime now you eat like anybody on Survivor China, you eat Chinese food today and you're like, oh my god, like remember when I spent a month in China playing Survivor?
Yeah, and got to go on these rewards.
I know.
Yeah, and now we just have the sanctuary where good things happen.
And Applebee's.
And Applebee's. So they sit down to eat, and the secret little tube thing is a clue to the immunity idol that has already been found. But John Robert is the only one who wasn't in on them finding it. So,
do you think it's shady for the producers to have done that? They know the idols aren't there. Like, why did they do that?
Maybe they just didn't come up with anything else, and they were
Or
like,
I guess maybe there's like continuity reasons. It's like, oh, this was already part of the plan. Like we
yeah,
have to see it through.
yeah,
But it's like they know damn well that
it's already been
there's
found.
yeah.
Well, he is totally clueless and about anything idol related, and he
I
says
mean,
he's
he's clueless kind of just in general.
in general, but he does say specifically he's loopy right now because he's drinking wine.
Hmm.
Yeah. At camp, the losers are just chilling, and Denise is sad to have not been picked to play in the challenge. And Eric says that John Robert is a bigger threat than James. Question mark, question
Who,
mark.
who says that?
Eric.
Oh, interesting.
Um, this is when they're
Be like
talking
if they
about.
just watch the episode. Right, right.
They're like talking about who's next on the chopping block, and Eric's like, I think John Robert might be a bigger threat than James. And I'm like, okay. PG tries to rally the group to vote out John Robert next, but Denise is thinking it over because she doesn't know if she wants to turn on her old tribe yet.
I mean,
Yeah, fair enough.
do you think it's smart for her to? I mean, it's hard to like think about it when we already know the result of what happens, but like,
It's interesting because I feel like she's at this point not really strongly aligned with anyone.
yeah, I was gonna say that. Like, I don't think she really has. There's
She's
really not like she has an okay relationship with James, but I'm like, I would say James and John Robert are more closely aligned than James and Denise.
Yeah, and so it's like, well, Denise, you're not. It'd be different if she was really close to her old tribe and they were trying to like get her to join them or something.
Hmm.
But it's just like you're kind of in no man's land, so maybe you want to like just be a little bit more involved in this things.
Yeah.
So the at night and into the next morning, the winning group comes back and squeeze their way into the shelter, and John Robert gets up early to look around for the idol. We also got some clarification on what the little sign things are called. Thanks to John
Mm.
Robert, they're called pagodas. um,
Oh, yes.
how we've been talking about them all season, and every single time we're like, I don't know what they're called. So thank you for that. Thank you for enlightening us, John Robert. And he pulls down the plaques off the pagoda and tucks one away in the bushes.
Right, right.
So did production replace them?
Um,
I don't remember seeing people put them
maybe
back up.
were there two up there
Oh, maybe there's
or
only
just
one.
one?
I thought there were
But
two.
even then, I remember because remember when Todd went, they pulled the wrong one off
Yeah.
originally. Maybe they put it back up. The wrong one they put back up.
Yeah, maybe. Well, anyways, later they're all eating, and James is getting heat for eating more than anyone else.
Which is so valid. At this point now, it's
Yeah,
if it was a tribe at the tribe portion, like okay, let James get away with it because we have to work as a tribe. But now that we're at an individual part of the game, baby, you don't get to eat more than me just because you're bigger than me,
yeah,
and that's what I'd say.
yeah, exactly. And Todd is sick of everyone. He's fed up. We in this episode and the next one, Todd is over these people, and he wants James to give him the idol back that Todd gave to James.
Also valid.
Very valid. But it
I don't know.
also,
It's
like,
valid. Yeah, say it.
I think his feelings are valid because he gave the idol to James as part of this greater plan. But now the plan doesn't work because they're merged. And
Yeah,
Jamie's gone. So it's
yeah,
like, okay, that's done now. Give me the idol back. But then I'm
yeah.
also like, you did give him an idol.
That's what I'm like. I'm like, I feel I can understand why Todd's feeling that way, but also, again, the point I just made, it is an individual game. You gave it to James, risking him never playing it. I don't think it's evil for James to have not given it back to you, especially because I don't know if those were. If Todd had told James at the beginning when he gave it to him, Todd was like, if we merged and you hadn't used it, you need to give this back to me.
Mm-hmm.
Then I would have been like, ooh, James, you're in trouble. But I'm like, There was never an expectation there or like a rule.
And it doesn't
I'm
seem like Todd's being very direct about this to James. It's more just like
yeah,
he wants James
yeah,
to read his mind.
yeah. Oh, gay people.
Gay Mormon flight attendants.
Oh my
the
god.
worst. Me sending the thing to you on Instagram before we started.
Isn't this a little gay?
It was Candace Owens calling Joe Biden stepping down a little fake and gay.
Which
I said it to Riley, and I said
it was Bob the drag queen from RuPaul's Drag Race being like, "What?"
And I said it to Riley, and I said, "You for real?" I was calling you fake and gay.
Right. I don't think you're allowed to call me that.
Fake?
I think we just kind of recorded a hate crime.
Fake?
Gay.
You already called yourself that this episode.
Yeah,
I didn't call you a slur.
I know you want to. Oh, I know you want to. Don't make me start saying slurs out that you have to bleep. You have to cut around.
Please don't.
Your dad? Oh, wow. Y'all really went on for a little bit. I could see nighttime in the background by the time he was done.
I mean, it is by the end of today. Anyways, Todd says to Amanda that if James loses immunity, they need to get him out. Todd also tells this to Frosty. And Frosty's like, I'm a swing vote at this point. And and he's like,
why did you say you went, actually, I'm a swing vote at this point.
Because that's kind of how it felt when Frosty was talking about it. I love watching Frosty realize things. But, like, Frosty is smart.
Why is it always, like, he's in confessional when he realizes something? It's, like, always the camera is on his face.
You can
and he's
see
like,
the light bulb flip.
Yes, exactly.
I'm obsessed. And he is down with the plan to make sure James doesn't win immunity and to blindside him at Tribal. We then get to the immunity challenge. And I love this immunity challenge. So the structure is this big giant snake thing made out of barrels that are filled with water, and they each have a hole, so water is slowly leaking out while they're sitting on these barrels, and they each have to sit and balance on the barrel. The last person to stay sitting wins immunity. And we got some funny moments during this. In the challenge at one point, John Robert makes a comment, and then Jeff goes, "Glad you're still around, John Robert. Always need a complainer." And then Courtney's like, "I thought I was the complainer." John Robert is the first one out, which I absolutely love. And then we get some Frosty singing of him trying to, like, focus. I'm not really sure. And it ultimately comes down to Courtney and Frosty. And Jeff goes, "Courtney has not moved for 32 minutes. And she goes, "Well, I am lazy." And I loved her for that. And then Courtney wins immunity.
Isn't that wild?
So exciting. I was so happy for her.
You know, plethora of people you would consider challenge beasts are like physical threats have never won immunity.
Yeah.
Courtney Yates has won an immunity.
And this was the challenge for her.
It really was.
She just had to sit there.
And it's good she doesn't have a lot of weight to, like, she's so small.
Yeah.
That even if she, like, moved over a little bit, it's not like it's a huge weight shift for her.
Yeah. You know? It was
good
so
for
fun.
Her.
Yeah, good for her. We go back
Courtney Yates, we're so happy that you won immunity back on episode 8 in 2007. We are so happy for you, Courtney.
We're so happy for you. Yeah, we'll be posting about it on our Instagram story later. Courtney, we are so happy for you. So Courtney back at camp says that she doesn't care about who goes home next because she won. Real. John Robert tells Eric that he's not worried about getting voted out because he has the idol. And then Eric, I hate you. Eric tells John Robert that he knows that James has the actual idol and John Robert's is not real.
Eric, why are you, like, he was like, "Oh, I have to tell." No, you don't.
No.
Way to ruin a plan.
Why would you tell John Robert anything?
Like, there's a reason John Robert doesn't know, and it really doesn't get you anywhere, because it's not like John Robert's going to want to work with you, Eric.
No.
Ooh, that man deserves prison time.
For real.
For this, among other things.
Amongst other things. Then, as John Robert and James are fishing, John Robert tells him about the idol and what he knows. And James says, I still need to look for that. I haven't found it. And then John Robert's like, listen, I know you have it. I know you have 2 idols. And then James is like, bro, who told you that? I don't have any. And then John
Bro. Chill.
And then John Robert says it would be better for James to work with him and not against him. James says that it would be the worst move in Survivor history to align with John Robert.
It truly would be.
At this point.
Like, what does John Robert have to offer other than Mandarin and making you uncomfortable?
Yeah,
like, what does he have
an
to
easy
offer?
target.
I guess.
Yeah.
But James has got that covered already. He doesn't really need another easy target.
True. Yeah, no, he's right about that. So then John Robert tells Todd about James having both idols and wanting to take James out. And this annoys Todd. So Todd tells James all about the John Robert talks, and James is down. And Todd is mad about this because it was his idea. It's all Todd's idea, and he's annoyed when other people take his ideas, but they don't know that they're taking his ideas. And Todd is like making fun of them because they're like, it's taken you how many days to figure this out when this has been my plan for how long?
Which I think is so valid. Like, that would make me, because then, oh my god, now all you need is this person to go to the jury and be like, this was my plan.
Yeah.
Like, oh my god, that would piss me off.
Yeah. Then we hear from Amanda, and she's talking about she wants PG out, and she's nervous that Todd keeps second guessing himself, because Todd just keeps flipping John Robert, James, whoever, and this is stressing her out. I get where she's coming from, but I also am like, things change, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
And like, as information is shared, like maybe you want things to go a certain way. So like, I think maybe Todd needs to like think about things in his head a little bit longer, and Amanda needs to be like a little bit more go with the flow. But then Todd also tells Courtney and Frost about voting for John Robert, which Courtney's obviously fine with.
Of course.
She's like, finally, thank you. We go to Tribal, and we start with Jamie coming in her little cowgirl boots.
Oh my gosh. I like so miss the jury walking in. Like, does that make sense?
Yeah.
Because now in the modern day, the
They're
jury's
already
already
there.
sitting there when the new people walk in. But there's something about Jeff listing all the, like, when you get down to like 7 people on the jury and you list through every single person as they walk by, it's like a good reminder, like, oh yeah, that person is on the jury. Like,
yeah, no, I like it. I kind of forgot about that. It's different. So they talk about Courtney winning immunity, James being a threat, numbers from the pre-merge tribes, idols, and ultimately, when they get to voting, James, not only did he not play an idol, he didn't even bring them to Tribal. He was so not worried about it. But that doesn't matter because John Robert's finally gone.
We cheered.
Yeah, finally.
Oh, we cheered.
Poor Jamie, though. Now she's stuck at Ponderosa with just John Robert.
Hey,
I need a Jamie tell-all stat.
Oh, trust me, it's in the works.
It's in the works. And that wraps up this episode.
Okay.
Did you have anything else to add?
Your mama.
Huh.
I think it's a fun episode. I'm so happy that Courtney won immunity. The challenges this
Yes.
episode were fun. Like even just the design of the snake, I was like, oh, this is so silly. But I also was thinking about like during the snake challenge, like when they were falling off, like there wasn't water. It was like a muddy puddle under them. So like I remember when Todd fell off, he like hit his back in the mud, and I was like,
Oh,
oh, that looks kind of
I did love that
not fun.
that Courtney also said, "Why wouldn't I have one? I hate getting dirty and wet." So obviously I wasn't gonna fall off.
Like so valid, so real.
Oh my god, and Amanda. Okay. Oh, I forgot to touch on this. They are so much more lenient with challenges these days. Do you remember how many times, like, Jake, for example, would break the rules
Yes.
and Jeff kept giving him warnings? Amanda touched the snake one time and she's immediately out.
For barely a second.
Fair, she did, like, touch it and she did use it, but, like, can we bring that back, perhaps?
Instead of Jake stepping on the challenge and breaking it because he's so mad.
Literally.
Oh, that gives me the ick remembering that.
Ugh.
Oh.
Okay. Anyways, that wraps up this episode of the Making Fire podcast. If you like,
Finally!
thank you. If you like this podcast, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok at Making Fire Pod. And we will see you next week, wearing the same clothes and probably getting darker out
Oh.
in our backgrounds.
Ugh, I can't wait to see how this turns out.
My new co-host is also Jennifer Coolidge. Anyways, bye.
Goodbye.